Unsolved Crimes newspaper, as a response to Cavalier civil society organization, within the framework of a struggle against religious extremism, presents.
The covenant is very precise concerning coercion to adopt or to recant a religion.
Patricia Duval, attorney and member of the Paris Bar in France, co-author of a book about scandalous international organization Fekris, member of Scientific Committee of European Federation for Freedom of Belief. She has defended rights of the various organizations in international institutions such as a European Court of Human Rights, the Council of Europe, the United Nations and OSCE.
Good evening, dear colleagues. I read the book and the chapter of this book that you have written, and I really appreciated it because I find it very logical. And as for me, I see that it was written by the lawyer. So the first question to you, please, is: so what is Fekris? Is it business? Is it private army? Is it governmental policy? Or maybe it is a new religion? How do you think?
Well, Fekris is a federation of associations. It was created to defend families against who were unsatisfied with their family members' choice of religion or belief, Mm-hmm. So these family members created groups like that because they thought that their beliefs of their family members were kind of deviant, not in the norm or not right according to what they personally believed. And actually, Fekris is located in France, and it is financed by the French government. So it has the legal form of a non-governmental association. I think Fekris has 91 or 94%. So it's really a government association.
So how do you think? I read the chapter of your book and I see what this organization do. And as for me, we know that there is a human rights organizations. Yes, there is Declaration on Human Rights, and we all know that all people are guaranteed the freedom of religion. So, how do you think, is this activity of Fekris is legal? So, as for me, I can choose any religion I believe in, or believe in no one religion.
It's under international human rights law. It's not legal. I mean, it's against all the treaties, human rights treaties that European nations have adhered to, and including, because you're from Ukraine, including the Russian Federation.
Yes.
And so it is not legal. It is actually against the law because, their activities, not the fact that there is a federation of people unsatisfied or whatever. They can say what they want, but it gets unlawful when it gets to hate speech, like, what Volkin is doing.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, so that hate speech is legal under international human rights law, like the OSCE has been very clear on that. And they have a special area of their activities dealing with hate speech. And otherwise, Fekris members have been, numerous of them have been sentenced for defamation, that kind of stuff. And the fact of stigmatizing some groups,
Yes.
well, it gets to a certain degree, gets illegal, but it's also what is illegal actually is the fact by the government to finance that. I mean, private groups can say what they want, but if it's with a state support, it becomes illegal because the state has a duty of neutrality in religious matters and in belief consciousness matters. Like, for example, the European Convention on Human Rights, and and also the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. So all these treaties, states are bound by them to respect human rights and to respect freedom of religion or belief.
Yes.
So they are not allowed to support groups that would be stigmatizing, or other groups, and preventing them in effect from existing or practicing freely their beliefs and so on. Well, their goal is to get rid of undecided minorities of belief. That's their goal. They want them to be repressed, oppressed, and to disappear. They want, that's their goal. So, like we just said, it's coming from, okay, they think that they are a private organization, okay, but if they are state supported, it becomes illegal. And especially when it comes for example, in Russia,
Yes.
It's all the FECRIS members in Russia. I mean, the FECRIS member in Russia, the Iranian Center, is a part of the Orthodox Church. It's a chapter of the Orthodox Church,
Yes,
it's part of the missionary center of the Orthodox Church. And the Orthodox Church has rehabilitation centers for members of so-called cults,
Yes.
So it all comes down to a traditional, accepted, recognized religion fighting against what they see as competitors. And the state is forbidden to do that. It has the duty of neutrality in these matters, and the state should not support such things,
Yes, I know. And my second question was about Apologetic Center of Irina Leonsky that was established by namely Alexander Dworkin. So I see the activity of this person, and as a lawyer, saying honestly, I am shocked. Because I know that in Russian legislation there is no sects, there is no cults, and there is no such a crime as acting in cults or acting in sects, yes. But when I visited this website of Irina Leonsky Apologetic Center, so I saw even business organizations that was called there as sects and cults. So how do you think, what can you say about this?
Well, I would say that it's all, the label, because the labeling of sect is just a convenient label, doesn't exist in law.
Yes.
There's no such notion in law. But this notion, this labeling has been condemned by international human rights institutions like the UN, the special rapporteurs, the successive special rapporteurs on freedom of religion or belief, the OSCE, and also their panel of experts in the area, and also the Council of Europe.
Yes.
They had a resolution on that. So this they all say that it's just a pejorative labeling, pejorative labeling that is discriminatory, and that leads to discrimination. So there's no such notion as cults. So you're asking me what I think about their activities in labeling groups as cults. Well, that is the answer. It's not a legal thing, and it's even condemned by international institutions, because what does it mean? Like, you're talking about different, not only religious groups are targeted, but like you mentioned before, groups like, even in France, some psychiatry sees psychoanalysis as a sect, and I've met some people like that, and that means it's an easy label, to say
Yes.
they have a defiant way of thinking or way of, and wanting to help people. And in particular, working at the Iranian Center, well, he attacks, for example, Falun Gong. Falun Gong is just a very peaceful, spiritual movement with practices like exercises, meditation, and all that.
Okay.
And he attacks them as if they were terrorists, agents of the CIA and all that. But I think he has a problem because these people are not that. And but he helped the Chinese government in its repression, and a really bad repression of this group. And this repression, it got really, to torture, and, it was really bad, and institutionalizing them and so on. And he supported in that by doing what he did, and going to do conferences in China to do that, to support that. And it's against the UN declarations and reports about Falun Gong, that China should stop doing that. So it gets really to an extremities, with
Yes.
their actions,
Okay, thank you very much. So how do you think? Some people put the stamp on non-religious organization and say that this is cult or this is a sect. How do you think? Is it legal or not?
You mean on other groups? Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it's the same problem. It's a matter of belief. The treaties protect freedom of religion or belief.
Yes.
So whatever belief is protected, you can go to human rights, it's ruled on that, that as long as the belief is consistent enough, it's not that, okay, I believe that I should buy this car. This is not the belief. The belief has to be sufficiently consistent to constitute a belief, but apart from that, it is, and then from that point it is protected, it is protected as such because the person has freedom of conscience.
Yes.
And this is a human right, fundamental right. So, if it's, in France, we have now, it could be, it's more, the accent, the stress is put more by the anti-cult groups on paramount medicines, alternative medicines, and all that. And it's the same phenomenon, of being divided from the norm, because the French, they have an agency which near dead now, but we have a government agency which was dealing with so-called sectarian deviances. And at some point they chose to concentrate on the alternative medicines and all that, because we have the National Association of Medical Doctors of the world, you know, and so they are attacking these groups, you know, for practicing natural medicines and that. But I don't really understand it, because it's, I understand who wants that, but I think they have sufficient means to combat, you know, abuses by doctors to not need that kind of fight, which is really a human rights problem, because most of these groups are just peaceful, and they are just complementary to traditional medicine. And so, well, I mean, if they have abuses, well, I think we should deal with it with the tools that the medical association has, you know. And I think it's a very specific problem, which has nothing to do with cults. Because cults or sects is a term that originally means, there is a definition in the dictionary, the usual dictionary actually. It means a religious group that has how do you say, common part from a big religion.
Yes, okay, I see.
Sectarian in Latin means to cut. So that they have taken their distance from from a traditional religion. But the Protestants were called sect by the Catholics in the beginning and so on, until they were recognized as a religion too. So it's just that's what it means, but it has been devoid, you know, and they use it not only for that, now they use it for anything that consider divine, even if it has nothing to do with religion. But it's an important use of the term, you know. And even with the original meaning, a sect, well, it's not because a religious group has decided to dissent, you know, dissented from a major religion.
I read the articles of Dworkin and of other people who deals with fakeries, and still I cannot understand what is sect and what is cult. So I asked many people to give the definition. So what is sect and what is cult? Yes, and even in the book you have wrote, yes. The definition I see, so we can label it to any organization.
Yeah.
So how do you think this activity of anti-cult and anti-sect, yes, it is about maybe 20 years, and still there is no definition of cult and of sect. How do you think? Why is it so? Maybe they had to give the definition. So the cult is 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4. The sect is 0.1, 2, 3, 4. But there is no such definition. Why do you think? Why is it so?
Because there is no legal definition, it doesn't exist. So it's a homemade thing. I can give you the definition of fakeries if you want.
I saw the definition in the book. I simply asked about this definition, but because as for me, it is no illogical definition.
Well, there's nothing logical in that definition. I can confirm that to you. It's a definition, you know, saying they are basically that they twist people's mind by converting them, you know, that they operate kind of mind control on them, and this is the proper meaning of the word, you know, means that people are are driven into a movement, and they don't think by themselves anymore. That's what they think a sect is. And this is basically, it's all based on belief. That means that if you have certain beliefs, if you adhere to certain beliefs, then which are considered to be deviant,
Yes.
it used to be, mind control to be converted to those beliefs. And this is the bottom line of it. So that means it's a discrimination on beliefs. If you think that Hare Krishna is good, you understand. If you think that the practices of Falun Gong are good for you, spiritually, physically, and all that, it's not traditional medicine, or it's not the right religion, or it's a religion, because China doesn't like religion. Anyway, so, then it's a sect, because it captured your mind, you know what I'm saying. This is the reason behind it, and this is why there's no definition of sect. I mean, there's no legal definition of sect.
Yes.
It exists. But all they are able to do is they try to make lists of sects, which correspond to groups that they think are deviant. Their beliefs are not in the norm, and this is why they are called sects. And most of them, most of the time, have committed no criminal actions, nothing. They are completely peaceful, but their only crime is their beliefs. And this is completely illegal under, contrary to international human rights law, because there is a freedom of belief for everyone.
Okay, so let me read the part of your book. So Fekris writes that sects and cults, they recruit their members using deception, retain them by various forms of manipulation and mental bullying, and exploit them for financial or other benefit to the cult's leadership. So the question is, I read that you written after that, and I agree with you. So we don't understand that what is deception, yes, what mental bullying, and what is mental control. So saying honestly, if I talk now to you, yes, maybe it is such of a kind of mind control, you by me and me by you, yes. So how do you think? How do you think? Do the psychologists have to give the definition of mental control or of mind control?
No, mind control is a controversy issue. It doesn't exist as concerns religious groups or belief groups. It doesn't exist. Mind control was a concept that was used first with by some U.S. psychologists.
Brainwashing, you mean?
Yeah, and
yes.
Mind control is the same. Yeah, and but it has been along the years, it has been rejected and proven to be non-scientific.
Yes.
And so it has been long been forgotten. It wasn't admitted in courts and all that, And so, and this is what the European Court of Human Rights said in a judgment in a decision of 2010 of Jehovah's Witnesses against Russia, that there was no definition of mind control and it had no scientific reliance at all.
Mm-hmm.
So this concept of, is not to be taken into consideration. It doesn't exist as concerns religious belief, because any religious belief could be said to be mind control, like
yes.
if you adhere to a group or any belief could be said mind control. If you think that, okay, that person is crazy to think that, it must be mind control, That's so what? It doesn't mean anything. It means that you think that that person shouldn't think that way. That's what it means. And that the persons and the European courts of human rights also said that the fact of adhering to a group and having practices and obligations in your life, is particular to any religion. It belongs to any religion to have things that you do in your life that are influenced by your beliefs. So there's no difference between, practicing Catholic or even a person in a monastery, monk or nun, and why that not be mindful, because it has a big, great influence and, on their private lives. So why would this be just religious, choice and indeed for other followers, group followers, because it shows a special way of life, So it's completely arbitrary. And it has no place in the international human rights law.
Thank you. So, as a lawyer, as an advocate, what could you advise to those people or organizations that faced with fakirs or such people as Alexander Dworkin? So, how do you think how can they protect themselves?
They can, what they do is they go to court, then it goes to the European Court of Human Rights, usually. That's what Jehovah's Witnesses have been doing, and others, and like Salvation Army, different groups have been doing, and there are some pending cases also on the publications, some Muslim minorities being deemed. Their publications being deemed as extremist and all that, so it's before the European Court of Human Rights, because that's the appeal that you have if the state, violates human rights, of their citizens. So they can go, and they can go also to the Human Rights Committee of the United Nations.
I absolutely agree with you that we should counterattack, and we should go to the court.
Absolutely unbearable, I think, to have these rehabilitation centers, and I would be very curious to know exactly what's happening in there. I'm sure, I don't know, but if there is pressure to be put, I'm not saying they're deprived of their liberty physically, because I have no indication on that. But the sole fact of putting pressure on someone to convert or to quit, to abandon their beliefs that they freely adopted, this is contrary to Article 18 of the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. It's really specifically indicated, if you put coercion on somebody to recant their faith, this is completely illegal,
Yes.
So, and then we should go to the Human Rights Committee on that, and we did it on Japan for deprogramming there, and they won. There's a decision on the Human Rights Committee about Japan. And so it's completely illegal, and they should stop doing it, and they should be exposed, for supporting them, that's it.
Yes, I agree with you absolutely, and I also read about deprogramming, and I find it awful and it is illegal, because I know especially was such cases in the United States. So when they took some people and these people was put in some rooms, so they couldn't move wherever they want, they couldn't do whatever they want, and those people was told that you are in cult and sect, yes, and now we will deprogram you. As for me, it is awful, and States, such a kind of activity as deprogramming was illegal. So the United States court said that this activity is illegal and it is human rights violations.
Yeah, exactly. It has been completely outlawed. But now, another concept which is exit counseling. They're trying, exit counseling, this concept?
No, I don't know what is it.
Well, counseling, advising, they call it exit counseling because they are supposed to counsel the members who are coming out of, or to come out of so-called cults. But actually, it covers the same kind of concept. It's kind of the concept is to deprogram people.
Mm-hmm.
They say that they have been mind controlled and they need to be deprogrammed by, telling them for hours how bad that group was. This is basically what they do. And it consists of, indoctrinating them against the group that they chose to adhere to. And, as I just said, this is illegal.
Yes.
Under other human rights instruments. But, even though they say, we don't kidnap people anymore, and, this is not illegal because there's no kidnapping. But the problem is the same. If you pressure someone to leave a group, because the family is unsatisfied,
Yes.
and the family goes to a so-called specialist of exit counseling, psychologist or whoever agrees to go into that direction, and they put that person under pressure. He's under pressure of the family, he accepts and all that, and then he gets all this, brainwashing, I would call it brainwashing, to quit the group,
Mm-hmm.
That's his way, but finally, some, you just abandon, they stop fighting and they say, okay, I quit that group because they have too much pressure. Well, this is not legal. This is not legal, and it doesn't matter whether they did not kidnap physically the person, it doesn't matter.
Yes, as advocate, maybe a few months ago, I faced such a problem because I had a client, so she was not in any cult or any sect, but her family decided that she is in a cult or a sect, and they really did that pressure you explained. And after that, I saw that her family was attacked by person from fake reason. So it is my point of view, because anything you said now I saw within few months, and my client, she was shocked, and really it was a violation of her rights, and really there is such activity, and it is illegal. I'm absolutely agree with you.
Yes, because they say, sect means that you cannot come out of the group. But, it's not true. I mean, in all the examples that we have, people have chosen freely, to adhere to some kind of beliefs and practices, like the Jehovah's Witnesses in the European Court of Human Rights decision. And the court found that as long as they freely adhered to these beliefs and these practices and this group, this faith, well, then it's supposed to be a right protected by the convention to continue, and practice such beliefs. And so the fact that they are, how do you say, locked into a certain system of belief doesn't exist, because it's an old creation of theirs to say that the people are not aware that they shouldn't believe that way, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because they're not in prison. How can you be in prison with belief, you know?
I faced with this problem as a lawyer, and I asked myself many questions. I didn't understand what is going on, because in the constitution of Ukraine, in the international human rights law is written that any one person has his right to believe in some religion or not to believe in any religion at all. And I'm really sure that we lawyers, we must stop them, because if we don't do this, maybe in time, in few years, in 2 years, in 5 years, I don't know, we face this problem. As for me, it is a new religion, the religion of people that hate the religion of other people or the belief of other people. So as for me, in a free society, in a free country, it is impossible. But we have such organizations, and I say you honestly, for me, France always was the country of freedom. Since I was a baby, we always know that France is the country of freedom. For me, France equals freedom. And when I read in your book that organizations Fekris was born in France and it is supported by the government, I was really shocked.
I'm shocked too, and this is why France is not all that. I mean, there are people in France who think differently, like I do, and it's against the spirit of the rights of the Enlightenment and the big thinkers in France. It really goes against it. And we now in France there's two tendencies. There's extremists on secularism. In France, Fekris and the anti-God groups are not supporting a traditional religion.
Mm-hmm.
They are supporting they are supported by partisans of extreme secularism, what they call total secularism in history, which is anti-religious, actually. It's not a concept of secularism, which is that state should be independent and tolerate all religions, Mm-hmm. It's a concept of a secularism, which is a fight against religion, And so there are these two tendencies in France, and being so very supporting Fekris and all that of this extreme, wing. But we don't all think like that. But I think it should be exposed for what it is. And the book that you're referring to is going to be, we are working on its publication in French, so that it can be also circulated in France. And because it's unbearable that the French government and we as citizens continue to pay, for them to exist. They should not exist. It has no place in the French Republic. I can tell you that it's against the Constitution.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Constitution, France respects all creeds, which is not true, considering what these people do and the fact that they are, funded by the state or by public funding anyway, So this is how it is. So I understand your concern, your astonishment, and your reaction about the fact that it's coming from France. But this is why also it's good that it is that French people say things about it, because we know that we can say things about it.
Okay, I see. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, sorry. I can really advise as concerns the Russian Federation and Ukraine that you expose the Fekris members for what they are doing and what is behind it, and there's no, Dworkin, we're talking about Dworkin, he's, as far as I'm concerned, I would say that he's an extremist.
Yes.
And he's defending vested interests, is an alleged or supposed competition with the Orthodox Church, which is, has nothing to do, with any activities that should be state supported. And, he's a member also of the committee of experts on religion and all that. With all these statements he has made, which are really paid speeches, and the positions he has taken, which are very extreme, and the fact that he's himself a member of the Orthodox Church, he should not be allowed to be giving some so-called expert opinions on other religions or beliefs. This is my opinion about it.
And I know that Dworkin is not a scientist. So, yes, I read that he is not a scientist. So, he has no specific education in the area of religion. Yes, as far as I understand, Apologetica should protect the religion. But Apologetica shouldn't attack the other religion. Because I see that Alexander Dworkin, as for me, it is my opinion that he is aggressive. So he's aggressive against other religions, other beliefs.
Yes, yeah. Well, that's without hate speech. Very denigrating and, it's insulting people.
Sometimes, maybe 2 years ago, I, as an advocate, I faced the problems that some journalists, they deal with such an organization as factories. So in mass media, they put the stamp on some organizations or some people. So what could you advise to do in such a situation?
To the media, you mean to be faced with the media slander?
I mean that sometimes the journalists work with factories, so they help factories. So on TV or maybe on newspapers, they take the person or take the organization and say this is a sect or this is a cult. So how their organization or how the person should protect themselves? Because we understand that when the journalists say such things, that maybe he obtained some money for this.
Okay, then my answer is counterattack.
Counterattack
on factories. Expose what they are, what their interest is, why they do it. Especially, for example, in the Russian Federation, and Dworkin, because this is, I understand, your main concern,
yes,
or your ultimate concern. Expose factories is a funding for it's just openly part of the Orthodox